Sometimes I wonder what reminds me of what sometimes it reminds me of sometimes. Sometimes it feels like it was so long ago, go. Rewind, I rewind for the lack of better rhymes. Reminds me of what sometimes it reminds me of sometimes. Sometimes it feels like it was so long ago, go. Rewind, I rewind for the lack of better rhymes. Better rhymes. This is a story all about how my life got upside down. This is a story all about how my life got flipped upside down. Choking on some wood, woodchuck, choking on some wood, woodchuck, choking on some wood, choking on some wood, woodchuck, choking on some wood, woodchuck, choking on some wood. Choking on some wood, choking on some wood, woodchuck, choking on some wood, woodchuck, choking on some wood.
Philadelphia born and raised, playground legend, most of my days, chilling out maxing, racking all cool, shooting b-ball, tired of school, couple of guys that are up no good.
Started making trouble in my neighborhood. Started making trouble in my neighborhood.
Wish we could turn back time, bend back time, turn back time. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when our mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed, now we're stressed out, now we're stressed, we're so stressed.
Wish we could turn back time, bend back time, turn back time. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when our mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed, now we're stressed out, now we're stressed, we're so stressed.
Woodchuck, choking on some wood, woodchuck, choking on some wood, woodchuck, choking on some wood, choking on some wood, choking on some wood, woodchuck, 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 choking on some wood, choking on some wood.